Hello. Good evening. Are we switching over? I want to see everybody's beautiful faces. Good evening, everybody, and welcome, wow. Welcome once again to SaffronSACAP's voiceover talk show. Oh, this is going to be an amazing month. Before I go into that, my name is Giz Ojiako, and I am your director for programs for SaffronSACAP. And with me, I have my able executive director, CEO. Yemi, if you'd like to unmute and introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yeah? Can you hear me?
Is that good old Zoom showing off again? Are you there, Yem?
I am here. Looks like I'm frozen. Ooh.
Yes,
can you hear me? Am I back?
We can. Right. Go.
Yay.
Now you're back.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning, somewhere in the world, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us this lovely day. It is going to be. Looks like we're dragging, isn't it?
We're having some technical issues with you yet.
Okay. Am I back?
We didn't get that. So I'm going to come back to you because it kept on cutting in and out on us.
Do that.
Yeah.
Just remind everyone that I'll be hosting on Facebook. Yeah.
I will. I'll take that on. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. So Yemi's our CEO, our executive director for SaffronSACAP, Saffron SDGF, and SaffronSAC, the African and Caribbean Center. Yemi is going to be your anchor today on Facebook. So I want to welcome all our Facebook Live viewers. Thank you, guys. You guys show up every week, and it's always fun having you guys on because you keep us on our toes. So please keep your questions, your statements, your comments coming in. Yemi will pick them up and we will throw them out here live on Zoom. And also want to welcome Yemi C. Jenkins, MBE. Yemi C, thank you. As always, you're always initiative. So we thank you for that. And Dr. Mrs. Apodiari Hart, my wonderful colleague, ex-colleague, lesbian colleague. Thank you, Apo, for coming on. I appreciate you, because I know it's like zooming in from work or wherever you are in Nigeria. So God bless you, and I hope you're safe out there. And a shout out, massive shout out to our Nigerian families. You know, you are in our prayers, because that's all we can do from over the waters. We are praying that you're all staying safe as you can be. And, you know, we're praying that, you know, God will turn things around. So without much ado, it's going to be a special month, like I said when I started. And the reason being, this is Saffron's, we're leading up to our 1 year anniversary, guys. Can you believe it? 1 year already. So today is it's a continuation, because we've been doing this since, but you know, we're in the month now, so we're getting excited, and we want you to get excited with us. So we are in the month of our first year, which was actually on the 23rd of June is when we, you know, kicked off, went live. So what we are going to be doing today, and every Wednesday from today up until the 23rd, when we're going to have a massive party, we are going to be reviewing. SaffronSACAP is going to be reviewing all our shows, all the voiceover talk shows we've had, right? We're going to try and review. We won't be able to, you know what, we won't be able to get each and every one in, to be honest with you, because, you know, let's be real. We've done it every Tuesday initially, and now every Wednesday for a year. That would be too much for us to squeeze into June. So what we have done is we've gone back and we've picked out some salient ones, which we feel the community, you know, want to hear and discuss more over. Now, what's going to happen is, like we always say, these are open spaces. You're virtual. So we do ask that whatever discussions we have on here, please, 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 can you keep names, real names, out of the discussions. We have to have we have to try and have a bit of confidentiality in as much as we want you to share your stories. Please, please, please share the stories, because that's the only way we can, you know, lend our support. But what we do ask is you hold back on actual names. Addresses are a no-no. You are live on Facebook, you are live on Zoom. It's virtual. What goes out on the internet doesn't come back. Okay, so, you know, just if you could help not just us, but help the community, because you could be sharing a very, you know, sensitive topic, and we all know ourselves. So I think that's cleared up that bit of house, you know, house rules there. And we do ask that, you know, let the deliberations be cordial. We're not always going to agree, but we would love to agree to disagree in a nice, sensible way. We're all adults on here, and even sometimes we do have some of the underage children, so the minors do come on, and that's why we stress for that level of decorum when we're interacting. Okay, so without much ado, what I'm going to do is I would like to hand over to Yemi to give you a bit of a background about Saffron. Yes, and I know why I've asked her to do it, and she's looking at me, and I'm thinking, no, I want Yemi to do it, and there's a reason why, and that's because we don't want to assume that you all know Saffron, what we're about, and what we do. And for those of you that come on, some of you come on weekly, but you've missed from the beginning. So we'd like you to have a bit of background knowledge in order to be able to follow us on this 1 year review leading up to the 23rd, and get a feel of who we are, what we do, how we do it, you know, and our mission, what our mission is all about. So thank you, Yemi. Over to you. You're on mute, my love.
Oh my goodness. Hope I'll have the floor for a long time this time around. Thank you, Giz. Well, should I say thank you? You actually just dropped me in the pot, and it's very hot. Okay, Saffron. Where do we start? We started with Saffron SDGF, that's Saffron Social Development Global Foundation in Nigeria in 2015. We have been since then what's that word? promoting the safeguarding agenda,
Promoting.
safeguarding the Nigerian child, safeguarding adults, safeguarding women, safeguarding children and people living with disabilities. That's in
Okay.
partnership
We
with
seem to be having some
I Am Still.
technical
Okay.
issues. Yeah.
Would you do that
You
then?
there?
I will support you.
Okay. I'm what I'm going to do. I'll take over. I think you keep dropping in and out on us.
Mm,
So basically, we did get the part of Saffron. So basically, SaffronSACAP in 2015, Saffron, which is Saffron Development Global Foundation, SDGF, which is a Nigerian arm of Saffron, was taken to Nigeria in 2015, integrated into the Lagos community. The safeguarding agenda was presented to the then government under a particular governor. Like I said, we won't be throwing out names because we're apolitical, so we don't align with anybody. But the government that was in place in 2015, and they adopted the safeguarding agenda and implemented the policy. Right now, that policy is under review under the current government that is in Lagos. Going forward, Saffron, saw the need for the same kind of interaction within the African community in the United Kingdom, and so that's why we look at SaffronSACAP Limited, which is based in the United Kingdom, as the birth child of SDGF, because most of us we are a home away from home. So many of us have been in this country for more than 10 years. And obviously, once you uproot and you stay in a country for more than 5 years, that becomes your home. And there was a need to adopt this kind of what we call ring fence around our community to safeguard our community. And that is really what drove the birth of SaffronSACAP, which is Saffron Safeguarding the African Child and Adult Partnership. And the main initiative here on the mission is to do basically that. Safeguard not just the children or the child or the young person or the minor, but also the parents, okay? And how do we aim to do that? By basically what we do coming on here every Wednesday, what we do when we partnership with other organizations is to highlight, to raise awareness, to listen to the community, to listen to the challenges, to listen to what is required, to listen to what is not being received within our communities, and seeing how we can bridge that gap between our community, which is the African, and we also cater to the Caribbean community. Okay, so it's the Black, African, and the Caribbean community SaffronSACAP, cater to, and we look at various issues. So each Wednesday we've come on, which used to be a Tuesday, but each Wednesday now that we come on, when you see our programs are born from your ideas, your suggestions, because what we do, we talk to you in the community and it's based on what you're telling us. We then go away, we do research, we talk to professionals, we talk to the powers that be, because we don't have all the answers. We can never have all the answers. And we are blessed because we've got an amazing team of professionals. We've got life coaches, we've got child psychologists, we've got social workers, we've got doctors, we've got the safeguarding queen here. Yemi has been in safeguarding for longer than I can remember. My background is in healthcare, and I also have done childcare. So we are all, when you put us all together, you find that we all have our different strengths, which we have pulled together. We have collaborations which have been born out of doing the voiceover with the Home Office. We actually have Yemisi Jenkins, MBE, who is one of our collaborators under one of our initiatives. Okay, we have so many other things in the pipeline which have, and I'm going to reiterate, born out of your suggestions. What you've asked us to do, we've listened and we've answered. And not have we just answered, we've gone away to ask, how can we help the community? How can we impact on the community? Who do we talk to? Who can we signpost you to? So when we're here on a Wednesday, believe you me, there is a lot of work that goes on in the background to make sure that we're not just Zooming. You know, we're not airplanes. We don't just Zoom around. We Zoom, and we want, when we come on here, we come on here to be able to arrive at the best possible outcomes for each and every one of you in the community. Does it happen overnight? It doesn't. But we are a very resilient organization. We keep saying it. We are not ashamed to be doing what we're doing, to be catering to who we're catering to. And we're not even ashamed to pull you up in the community when you're doing the wrong thing. Because you see, it is only there's a saying, it is only your best friend that can tell you that your mouth is smelling, right? So that is what we do as a community, is to make sure that we are not found wanting in the United Kingdom. Yeah. So, you know, without much, you know, I don't want to turn this into a lecture, but that is just a bit about us. That is what we are. That is what we do. That is what drives us, and what is going to continue to drive us. So what we are going to ask is, before Yemi does the throwback, you know, for those of you who could be watching on Facebook or from wherever you are watching from, if you have been on our show, please stay with us this whole June. If there are any topics you feel that we haven't covered, you know, that are things that we need to cover, yeah, please drop us an email. Our social media handles are readily available. Our website is readily available. We're going to drop that in the chat as the night goes on. Reach out to us if you know anybody in the community that needs any kind of support or guidance, be it any possible thing you can think of. We will be able to handle it, because we do have the bodies in place around every kind of challenge that you could possibly find within a community. So yeah, that's a bit about us. And I really do hope that we are making an impact, because obviously if we're coming out here every week and we're Zooming, and we want to know that we are bridging that gap, because that is what we set out to do. All right. So I'm going to hand over to you now and pray that the internet's going to leave you alone tonight. Okay.
I don't know what's happening tonight. Some days
Okay.
like really. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, sometimes it just drops. I don't know what it is. It keeps dropping. But yeah, if we can just possibly start with the first step of playing that video and seeing if that will work.
Okay. What we're going to start with is a video that was put together by our director for safeguarding children in schools. That's Debbie. She's also our child psychologist and our social worker. So I'm going to try to share that video with yourselves. And then she's going to introduce a video, a recording of a program we had with Chris Kiffin. Do you want to? Okay, I'll play her video and then you can talk about Chris. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah, and I am the Director of Safeguarding in Schools for Saffron. Saffron Safeguarding African Children in Adult Partnership. Last week on our voiceover talk show, we talked about the new normal. What is the new normal, especially for children and families? We focused on the funds that are available for schools and for families and how you can access these funds. But this week, we have a special guest for you. His name is Chris Kiffin, and he runs an organization called Empowering Youths. He will be talking about 14 years incarceration, the long road back. You don't want to miss it. Now, to join us, you can join us on Zoom. You can join us on Facebook. And if you feel that you have something to share, you're an expert in this field, or any field really that could support our talk and our discussion, go ahead and jump in on the Zoom. You're more than welcome. I also have a phone number if you have any questions, any comments, you have inquiries. Go ahead and call us on 07845 922769 or send an email, info@SaffronSACAP.org. That's info@SaffronSACAP.org. Now, the talk show is going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. And like I said, feel free to join us and share your view, ask questions. All right, then. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Awesome, awesome. And I know we all heard the time there. That was our old time. We've actually moved that now from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But that was when we just started. And yes, as Deborah mentioned in that clip, Chris Kiffin was one of our guests at that time. And what Chris was a young man who in his past had some challenges within the society, was incarcerated, but this was more about Chris's journey after a 14-year incarceration, the steps that he had to take in order to, get himself back into real life situations. So we're going to play a bit of that clip, and we hope that you enjoy watching and listening to it, and feel free after to have your say, have your input on the video. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to share this video. It's 48 weeks ago. I can't imagine that it's been 48 weeks since we had this video, and we've been on every week since then. Why did we pick Chris's video? Because it was a beginning at looking at our community, our young people, because Chris, a lot of his story started from when he was quite young, about 8 years old, losing his dad. I know that I would ask Giz to continue on this, but he lost his dad, and that spiraled into some really unsettling behavior for him, which then proceeded into him murdering his cousin. This then got him 14 years incarceration. We're not going to listen to a whole lot of his story because it's a long draw. What we want to focus on are the questions that our community asked about his road before, during, and what he's doing now, how he's actually come out to be running a youth engagement CIC charity organization, which is awesome. Not everybody gets that chance. So we believe that it's a first step in looking at who we've been able to engage with. We've really been fortunate to speak with some people over the years. So let's start with looking at Chris's life. Do you want to drop a story, or did I get it all right, Giz?
Yes, you basically did. And this basically is looking at he was a young boy who lost his father, had no form of communication, no form of intervention to help him to deal with the grief. And so a lot of things were internalized by Chris. So what you hear is, like we said, we won't go much into the what and how, but rather the questions that we asked him, how he was able to post incarceration, when he was released, how he was able to cope, and the kind of help, the kind of interventions that were out there for him. So yeah, if we just have a listen to some of the questions.
I'm a mental health director for SACAP. Deborah is on. I don't believe Joyce is on as at yet, but Joyce is our educational specialist, and Joyce may join later. Okay, So that is just some of the team. We are quite a few, but that's just the team that we have on today. I'm going to pass on to Yemi because she's raising her hand.
Yes, I just wanted to, sorry guys, thank you. I just wanted to shout out to other members who are in here. Yeah.
So I'm Marcia. It's my second meeting. Last week I ghosted a little bit. My area at the moment is coaching, so I can be the person responsible for coaching going forward. I've worked at the Ambient Safeguarding for a number of years. I've got a background in health and education.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia.
I know you're here. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly shout out. Unmute yourself, Jacqueline.
Hey.
Yeah, just a quick shout out, please, darling.
Thank you for having me as usual. Always a joy to be here, even though I am far from most of you physically. I share in the dream. So thank you for having me. My name is Jacqueline Adepija. I'm a head of programs at Invictor FM. It's a radio station here in Kaduna, Nigeria. So thank you for having me once again.
You're welcome, Jacqueline. It's nice
to see you.
Okay. So
hello.
Who said? Oh,
Village. You know, I'm just here to pay you a visit, but I'll give you a nutshell of what I do.
Please do.
I was trained at the Tavistock, a very prestigious institute, but my background is social work. I undertake what you call macro social work, MI social work. That is one-to-one with children and families, professionals and social workers.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you hoping to achieve? You know, what is the aim? So I know, yeah, okay, mental health, but based on your experience, what you've been through, you know, first of all, would you be able to maybe not go into too much detail, but you know, what were some of the hardest times in prison that you possibly faced or witnessed? And how do you think you would be able to help the youth coming out today or the youth that are in prison today, you know, to get through what they're facing based on where you've come from, based on your journey?
All right, so coming into jail, and I don't care who, listen, unless you've been going in and out of jail and you kind of got a routine, but I don't care who you are. You see, the jails that I went to, Long Lartin, Franklin, Whitemore, even Swellside. So the first three ACAP prisons. So because I was a behavioural problem, I was in a BCAP to start with Swellside, and that was bad enough. There was pressure there. So like for me, when I first got to that prison, and that's a lifer's jail. So you got everybody, literally, nearly everybody in there is in for murder. Me, I was kind of I'm not really I don't see myself as a violent person. Yeah. So when I went there, that was really hard because everyone was in for murder. So I'm wary straight away. My anxieties are high. I used to go up and get well, you can cook in Swellside, so you could give your ID card in and get a knife, but it was a big knife. But it was the point was broken off at the end, and guys make shanks anyway in there. I used to go up every day and get one of those and then have, because in my head I was thinking, I'm around murderers, everyone's a murderer. If anything goes wrong, is, you know, and so that was that. There was when I ended up, because I was a problem to the staff mainly. Well, that was a problem to the staff, yeah. So I was put into the ACAP sort of prison where everyone, you know, when I went there with my 13 tariff life sentence, I was like, it was like I had got 3 years compared to them, because I mean, there was guys in there 21 and all that, you know, they were doing tariffs of 25 years and up. So that was even harder. So now I'm against guys, because obviously with nothing to lose, you know, so it's even worse. So I kind of, to fit in, you know, and if I'm being told, so I sort of became more aggressive as a defense mechanism, if that makes sense. So people wouldn't want to challenge me or get into anything with me, because they thought, no, my man's on job, he would do it, you know what I mean? So I had to step up. My mum and sister can be a witness of the amount of times they was thrown in the prisons because I was in segregation units and they didn't know what was it. They couldn't get in contact with me, and that was purely because of the pressure of those. You're around guys that are doing big sentences. These are contract killers. That you've got some really serious violent men in there, you know what I mean? I never see myself, and I don't care what young boy goes in there. When you're on your own, see a lot of, when you're in your gang, it's okay, but when you're on your own, now you're on your own, So yeah, so them sort of times were really hard. Being in the segregation, 6 months, getting bent up every other day, that's quite traumatic times. And when I came out of that system, that's when I realized, that the mental health side of stuff. So me having to have knife plotted up around the wing and maybe on me for like 3-4 years became normal. But when I left there now, I realized the pressure, the strain and pressure that I'd been under, you know what I mean? So that was a big recognition for me.
Right, Chris, people are dropping questions. Marcia has asked, if you could start again, what would you do differently?
Not be stubborn and talk, because that's the reason that was probably that was the reason why I ended up in the situation that I did with the murder.
Right.
I could have talked to the person, but it was easy for me to just not talk to someone, just drop them out. So I wouldn't be so stubborn and just go, yeah, F it.
Okay.
Really. So
right.
that meant no man. But yeah, he's part of the reason why I wanted, because there wasn't no services out there for me. And the reason I was going to say as well, in 2020, January, I heard that, it was announced that knife crime was at a 10-year high. So I thought, well, there's a lot of organizations out there doing this. And it's still going up. I'm thinking, well, I think I've got the solution anyway.
Okay. Jacqueline has said that despite your best intentions, Chris, you found yourself right back in jail. Why do you think this is?
Why do I think that was? So from the night show, when I went to jail in 91, 12 months, and then coming out and then went back to jail in 2004, there was a 13-year gap. But I think why I went back to jail, again, it was because I was stubborn. I wouldn't talk to you, I wouldn't talk to you if I didn't feel like it or whatever. But I know communication and talking is key, vital in all that we do. We need to, no matter what our differences are, we need to be able to get around the table and talk, or sit down and talk. Even if you go away and come back, people get heated. You can, all right, cool, leave it today, come back, but still discuss it. And that's through worldwide politics and everything. You need to talk, but you need to have, you need to talk. Otherwise, you're just bottling things up, suppressing things, and not talking about them. That's what I did. I suppressed stuff, didn't talk about it, and then obviously it exploded on that day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Dominga has asked, she said, Chris, do you think there is a more tolerant perception for girls/ladies than boys/men, based on how you could have avoided ever getting on the wrong side of the law?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Because boys, because of the way that, in my time, because of the way the boys up, and the way boys, it's the perception that boys have to toughen up and stuff like that. Because I was taught that. You know what I mean? Well, it was more prevalent back then, but I'm still thinking now, as a boy, as a male, it is hard not to be able to express yourself and talk, and that's where I learned to express myself. So now I will express myself. I don't care. I'll you know what I mean? I will say that, you're making me feel this way or whatever. Where I suppose if a gang member was talking to his gang member friend, he ain't gonna express himself that way, So it's important that boys are, or feel that they can express themselves without ridicule and persecution. You know what I mean? Because that's what I would have felt, and so I would never have spoken up. So because of how I was brought up.
Okay. There is another question. I will get to that shortly. I have a question for you. In post-prison, so it's 18 months down the line, and it's amazing you set up this organization. But can I ask you, in the process from your being prepared to come out from prison, and whilst you've been out from prison, how much input have the prison probation service? For you, it wouldn't be youth because obviously you're an adult, but how much input has probation been, have they had in your life? And, you know, what have they signposted for you to be able to help you? Because 14 years is a very long time. So what was the preparation that you had from them or from any other service to prepare you for post-prison life?
Okay, right. So when I was in the DCAT, when you go to DCAT, that's where you're supposed to get, so you're supposed to get integrated back into society. I was there for a year. The moment I landed there, within 6 days of me landing there, they run up on me onto the billet and brought me to the SEG. They said the last jail I was in had played a part in that. And obviously they looked at my record from when I used to go into SEGs, then I'd be always fighting. So they didn't believe that I had changed. So that's what they'd done. So they brought me to the SEG. When they brought me, they left me in there for like maybe 4 hours and told me it was a test. That was my first 6 days in the DCAP to get him. Anyway, so I was let back out of the SEG because I just laid on the bed calmly, relaxed, and thought, well, if they send me back, no problem.
Right.
You know, I was gutted, but if they did, but they didn't anyway, and they kept me there. I was there a year, and I should have had five home leaves in that time, yeah. And I ended up with one due to my probation officer. And my outside probation officer was anti me for some reason. Okay, he was a white man, and he was very anti me. He just was not. He just weren't having a bar of me. He just was negative. You know, everything I wanted to do, progression and help, he was just not there. And I used to have to get my mum onto him. She would phone him and bug him, and then there was right at the end, before I left that DCAT, he was giving me a private number. He said, "All right, look, I'll give you this number. Look, stop my mum from calling him." I just gave her that number as well, made her call him straight away. You understand? And because of the kind of man he was, you know. And then obviously when I got out, obviously he never backed me to get out, and I got out. But then because I'm banned from Croydon, I was put over to Wandsworth, and the Wandsworth probation, right? So when I got out, I see her. I had probation for 3 months. I saw her twice. She left. When she left after 3 months, I never had a probation officer for 3 months. So in 6 months after release, I saw probation 2 or 3 times, and then I was having to phone them every week to say, look, what's going on? Have I got a probation officer yet? No. So I had no help from them at all. Now I've been assigned a new probation officer who I've had for the last year, and I can't knock her. I can't fault her really, because she always says if she can help me, and I've had no help from no one else really. I've had to get my own place. So only my family. I'm lucky. I've been very lucky. I can't thank my family enough. You know what I mean? Because they've always, you know, from prison to now, you know what I mean? They're still supporting me and helping me while I go through it. Because obviously I'm still on benefits while I try and build this company up.
Or you need to be a certain way like a man, and the man that you had in your life was no longer available. Kind of make up your own mind about your personality and your character and things like that as young as that. So being a boy and having these I don't know if they're untold, unspoken responsibilities that are put upon boys, you kind of feel like you need to step up, or you need to be a certain way like a man, and the man that you had in your life was no longer available. I think that is a lot for a 9-year-old or for even a teenager to take on. So I'm not too, I do understand what you're saying, but I'm also trying to say that apart from the fact that you had made up your mind to, be your own person, which is not really strange for boys. Boys tend to want to take on responsibility. But I just thought that if you also, from the first time that you got into trouble, if you had the support that you needed, I just kind of feel that maybe you would have avoided some of the other situations. Do you think? Sorry?
I believe so too.
Okay. So in terms of mental health, I think it really is just about where you are. I don't know how much you grieved for your dad and what support you got for that. And all these kind of things do affect your mental health and thereby affecting your behavior generally.
Mm.
So with your organization, I'm hoping that these are some of the things that you're thinking about for young boys. Yeah. Not because when there is an absent father, it's almost like a father died for boys. So I think you probably would come across other boys who their father may be alive, but if he's not in their life, they could go through the same mental process maybe.
Well, yeah, I'm actually dealing with that with my son now because obviously he was 8 when I went away, and although he used to might come and see me every 2 weeks. Well, in the beginning, in the first few years, he was coming to see me probably every 2 weeks or once a month at least. That was still I still had no influence on his life whatsoever.
Yeah,
as much as, and I used to think because he used to come and see me and whatever. Yeah. It was kind of whatever. It was all right. It was half all right, but speaking to him and him being honest and open, and he said some hurtful things, which I felt were really hurtful. But obviously, with my understanding, I could understand how he was and how it affected him.
Yeah. Again, that age where
he knew I was in jail. It was and the same with me. I knew my dad was dead, but I still, you know what I mean? I still kind of. And I was still blaming. I kind of still felt like he left with that. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for answering those questions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Please feel free to raise your hands if you also have any questions.
Thank you very much, Christopher. Thank you for sharing your story. Very, very interesting story, for want of a better word, because for me, it's all about looking for solutions, right? And for a while now, not just at this moment, but for a while, I have been worried about something that was a part of Black culture before. And now it's eroding, not just overseas. I mean, for me, you guys are overseas. So not just overseas, but also here in Africa. And I'm talking about the sense of community, that spirit of it taking a village to raise a child. Okay, because I cannot help think that if it had been the way it used to be, when you lost your father, the community would have rallied around both you and your mom, who I'm sure must have been struggling in her own way, and your siblings. But this erosion has been a long time coming, and at this point, in a lot of places, it's even non-existent. And so while we're struggling against a racist system, especially for those of you who are outside the country, we have a huge problem on our hands because of this lack of community. It isn't Black. This lack of community isn't Black. And with all due respect to Fiona and all the people who are doing great work and the rest of it, but Black people, we grew up hearing stories about how Black people had community to fall back on when anything would go wrong. But at this point, we don't have that. And I would love if Saffron could take, include this in parts of the ways in which we could move forward. Building back community. Yes.
Awesome. Jacqueline, thank you so much for that. And I don't know if you were on last week's Zoom when I talked about Saffron's initiative, and it's called #TogetherWeCan. And where that came about from is exactly what you have just said now. The fragmentation within the community, especially the Black community. Now, we've all seen what has happened with the Black Lives Matter, an amazing movement. It's good. We need the change. But what I said to the Black community, what Saffron said to the Black community is, we need to come together. Yeah, the world needs to come together, but we, the Black community, need to come together. So #TogetherWeCan is SaffronSACAP's initiative. And that was what I said, when we come on the Zoom, I want to see faces. So that when I see you on the street tomorrow, and I see you, God forbid, in distress, I will say, Afusat, Iko Bulus, Felicia Aledesua, Fumi Williams, Sarah Kiffin. I want to know your faces. That's the whole thing about community. And the only way our children are going to understand that when they're out there on the street, if I see Yemi's daughter or son, or if I see Diane's daughter or son, and they are out at 10 o'clock, I'll be asking them, are you okay? Does mom know you're out? If mom knows you're out and it's in agreement, that's fine. They know me in this area. I pick up boys and girls from the street when I see them out at a certain time. I don't know why a 13-year-old would be out on the street at 11 o'clock. That is what the community is about. So Jacqueline, thank you so much for bringing this up, but we need to be able to stand up as individuals and not just talk about it on Zoom, but practice it. How many of us know our next door neighbors? We need to. I knock on my neighbors. If I have new neighbors, I go and knock on the door and I say, hi, my name's Giz. I live at number 72. Do you understand? We need to, because if okay, Olayinka, if you can hear me, sort out your mic because we can't hear you. So it could be low, I'm not sure, but I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, do you?
Maybe. Can we?
Oh, I didn't realize my video isn't here. Should I turn it on?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Hello. So I've been listening to the conversation for maybe like 30 minutes plus now, and I think it's really cool to hear the perspectives of different generation of people. You know, obviously there'll be differences in how we see things, and obviously even though Chris has, you know, shared his own experiences, and thanks for sharing what you said, Chris, is also, you know, interesting to see how the stories and, you know, everything differs from people that, you know, I can see around me in the area. I definitely agree, you know, with what he said in terms of just how much, you know, being Black has an effect, you know, whether it's like, you know, the law or not, but in society in general, you can walk into a store and, you know, instantly a guard is following you. You can walk into this place, or, you know, you just in school, you know, teachers will say things to you they won't say to other students. They'll make you face walls where other students will. And I feel like it's so much more than, you know, just a legal issue, but more of a societal issue, you know, and a big focus on just how people see us, you know, very in line with the representation matters argument also that we have in society. And I feel like, to comment on what I think it was Loretta Jacob said, the community thing is very important. I feel like, you know, we have a government that doesn't really value or appreciate Black people as much as, you know, we value and appreciate ourselves. And even though the way the world does with culture and everything, and, you know, from time, you know, from colonial periods to maybe before and even after, you know, from slavery with people in America and the Caribbean till now, governments have made major plans up, you know, different organizations within the government, you know, to like systematically or systemically, you know, destabilize and cause these issues within, you know, the African community, and then also blame people for it. using the media, which is a big, powerful tool within, you know, the present day. And I feel like the community thing is so important because we can even see how our own UK government is doing something like this. You know, they've done things that will affect, you know, lower and working classes specifically, or more affect them more, stuff like closing libraries, school clubs, you know, schools in certain areas are receiving less funding for all these things. And they know that, you know, the more that they break down the community of the African community, the more that these problems will persist. You know, there's enough research to show that crime is linked to I think someone saying something. Oh, but yeah, there's enough research to show that crime is linked to, you know, poor, less opportunities, you know, the type of housing, education, and all these types of things. And I feel like, you know, in this period, you know, even when we've seen the Labour government, which is supposed to be on our side, you know, have, you know, deep, you know, racist issues or race issues within, you know, it's really up to us, you know, though we've had to do so much already so far, you know, it can't stop now. And it's really up to us to, you know, really pick up the community. Like, you know, Giz said, you know, like if I was out late in, you know, my area when we used to live in Hackney or whatever, you know, it's definitely that feeling, you know, that everyone should have that, oh, maybe this auntie's going to see me and tell my mom, do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's not about, you know, being in trouble or whatever, but it's really that if you have this kind of community, you know, feeling where you might be friends with someone who owns, you know, the food shop up the road, or, you know, that sells, you know, clothes here or wherever, then, you know, we can actually watch and look after our own people in the way we should, you know. I'm sure, like, you know, in small town villages, you know, in the countryside, in this country and everything, people know each other's families, you know, people know everyone around. So some kind of things are less likely to happen. And especially, you know, people are less likely to fall into traps when you kind of do have this, not like, you know, neighborhood watch, but more community watch, you know, and it's less official, but it still has, you know, a similar purpose and it has a similar effect. I really feel that that's something that's really important. And, you know, where the government has failed us in those places, you know, if we really care about each other as a community, we need to band together and do something about it. And I just think it's really, you know, at the end of the day, we're on white soil. So, you know, there's only a certain amount you can expect from the government to do for you when they didn't want you to win in the first place. You know, it's really got to be your own desire to win, and that can, you know, inspire other, you know, African people and even white people, to the point that when you see the Black Lives Matter protests that are going in London, a lot of the people there are white, you know, and that's, you know, the work that's been done by so many African people in this country and around the world that's been able to inspire, because as much as we can make changes, there's only about 2 million Black or African people in the UK out of about 66 million in the population, and a lot of them are in London or in Dublin. So, you know, as much as we have influence and effect, you know, with music and culture and everything, you know, I feel like, you know, where we need to keep inspiring people is you know, to actually make changes with the law and within society and perspectives, and just really, you know, try and push forward on that front, because clearly it's been making a difference, you know, from the turnout we've seen. Yeah. I can't hear you.
I said, Oyewale for Prime Minister. Thank you for that. That was awesome. That was honestly, you basically took the whole Zoom and just did it 360, because everything this is Saffron's mission, everything that you said. So thank you for that. Chris, I don't know if you've got anything to respond to that, but before you do, Olayinka, who was having issues with his sound, has typed a question. Get ready to
Hello? Yeah. Wow. I have goosebumps, people. Just before I continue, I want to please recognize Marcia. Marcia Lisa is one of our directors. Marcia, if you want to just unmute and Say hi to the house. Oh, your voice is gone. Where's your voice? Where's your voice? You there? Oh, we've got the same issue as last week. All right. Don't worry, Mus. You sort it out. We'll come back to you, okay? We want to hear that beautiful voice. Hi, Nene. I see you've jumped in. Thank you so much for coming in. Good evening. Wow, guys, that was really that was deep. You know, that was really deep. But you know, we did say from the beginning that, you know, we don't do things by halves at Saffron. You know, when we get the issues, we talk about the issues. Sometimes they're going to go very, very deep. And as you could hear from Chris's story, which was quite a very sensitive story, but at least he told us his truths. He told us how it was for him trying to get back into post-prison lifestyle. And kudos to him. This is a young man that has been through quite a lot from the age of 9. But he's done well, he's doing well. And hopefully Chris will be on. He said he would be on the 23rd of June. So, you know, please, if you can come on, you probably hear from the horse's mouth. You see that these are not actors. These are actually real people. We deal with real life stories, real situations. And we heard lastly from Oyewole. He is our resident lawyer, Saffron's resident lawyer in the making. Such intelligence. And the thing with Saffron, we don't just listen to professionals. We love to hear from the youth as well, because do you know why? It's them that we're safeguarding. And when you can safeguard them from a young age and have them to get to this stage with so much potential, you know you're doing the right thing, you know you're on the right course. There's something I wanted to pick up. There was a phrase, you know me, I like my phrases. Your own desire to win. Wow. That stuck with me of everything we've heard tonight. Your own desire to win. Guys, I can't say more than that. I don't know if there's anybody that wants to add to this, to what we've heard this evening. All we're going to be doing through June is basically going over some of our stories have outcomes. Many of our stories have outcomes, and that's what we want to share with you. We want you to understand that we don't just come on a Wednesday and play. You know, when we come on a Wednesday, we come on with a mission. And like, is it 007 that it likes to do mission accomplished? Or what's the other one? One of them does mission accomplished, and that's what we're doing. We make sure that we accomplish our missions. In the case of Chris, I'm happy to announce, and I know he would be happy for me to do this because we speak all the time. He's now in university studying for a degree. And I think the reason why we share these stories is we want to give hope, not hopelessness, but we want to, through the lives of real people, show you that there is a chance for everybody. You know, the fact that from 9 years of age, you had all your challenges does not mean, you know, you can't make it in life. You know, and as an organization, we are here to give you that support. Like I said at the beginning, we have life coaches, we have mentors. Marcia Eliza is one of Saffron's resident life coaches. She's also our director for youth and youth engagement. So we do have people on here who can support you and guide you in the right direction, regardless of the road that you are on or the road that you are coming off from. So at this stage, I'm going to hand over to you, Yemi. I think we have another video.
Oh, I'm still trying to download that video.
That one. Okay.
Marcia, have you come back on with your volume?
Can you hear me now?
Yay! Yes, we can.
Yeah, go ahead, Mas.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us again tonight. I came late, but I was very honored to listen to the young man speaking, and it took me back. And memories are great, aren't they? It's just good to look back and to see where we were and to see how much we engage with the young people. And we give, as I say, we empower them to talk. And he was so eloquent in saying what he has to say and his experience as a young person. So that was really great. And thank you again for joining us tonight. And I'm looking forward to this month of, well, I call it my month of celebration, because we're celebrating the whole year. It's like a whole month of birthday parties, really. We're just celebrating every week that we've done. And we've done exceptionally well. You know, we
Yeah.
have done exceptionally well. Saffron is a household name, not only in the UK, we've gone international. I have people across the waters, the United States and the Caribbean, who refer to, that program you do on Wednesdays. So Saffron's international. And thank you for all of you who continue to support us every week. And we are getting stronger.
Yes, we definitely are. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Marcia. And we will be sharing a video which I don't know if it's been able to download yet, because we've got loads. But what we will also ask is that, go to our social media pages. We have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel gets all of our channel gets all of our programs. So, you can still go back and watch them in a more relaxed environment, in case some of you are still coming in from work or you're on the train or the bus. Okay. So before I go forward, if there are any comments from anybody on Facebook or even here on the Zoom, based on what you've heard this evening, please feel free. It's an open house, it's not my show. It's an open house. It's for everybody. Let's hear your thoughts. And I know some of you are in Nigeria. You can still join in with the chat, because the issues we face here, I'm telling you now, they're being faced back home as well. So this would be nice to be able to hear from your side as well, how you're coping, and what we can do as an organization, if anything, to help you. As you do know, we have our Nigerian arm as well. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have any comments now? Feel free to unmute yourself, Nene. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. For us that just joined, couldn't really catch up with everything he said, because we had a little summary.
Yeah, okay.
You muted yourself, Giz.
So basically, what we're doing is we're celebrating our 1 year, and based on that, we are just reviewing all our talkover shows. So we've just played one of our first videos where we interviewed, and we had on the talk show one young gentleman. Chris is his name, and Chris had been incarcerated in prison for 14 years. So he came to speak about his post-prison experience, getting back into normalcy, how he was able to get back into the real world, but also gave us an insight into what led him into, the challenges that he faced, which led him to going into prison. So we were focusing more on, the triggers, and he was very honest, and he said, look, lack of communication, and there was no support for him when his father passed away. So you see, these were the things, and it's like when you suppress, the pressure that you get after suppression led him to do some crazy things. So sometimes we can be very quick to judge people who fall short of the law without thinking about what could have been the possible triggers or catalyst to their challenges, And as an organization, we try not to be judgmental, but rather we try to critically analyze situations, and lend support. And then we had another young man on who talks about, who was basically reiterating what Chris was saying about the challenges within the United Kingdom, within our Black and African community, the African and the Caribbean community, and how we face the challenges and how we need to come together as a community, because it takes a community to raise a village. So that was what that young man was saying. And he was talking about, some of the systemic approaches to the way our people, our community are dealt with in this country. So obviously I know you're in Nigeria, and it would be nice to hear from yourselves as well, because I'm sure you have youth out there who go to prison as a result of XYZ. are the challenges that these young people face, are they being looked at? Do we even know about the challenges? Does anybody know what's happening or what has led to these children or young people being incarcerated? And is there help for them when they come out of these prisons? So that's basically what that particular video segment was all about. And what we're going to be doing next is to be playing another video on domestic abuse. But if you've got anything to add based on that summary, feel free. If not, we'll just play the video.
Marcia, did you look like you wanted to say something?
No.
Not it. Okay.
Okay, is it ready to download yet?
We're gonna try. Ooh. Can you hear any sound?
No, there's no sound.
Amazing.
What does Saffron mean to me? Saffron means a support system, a very strong support system that allows me to express myself. It helped me understand the concept and the depth of the word safeguarding, not just for children, but particularly for children. I think because
Oh. Okay.
they all need our protection so much. But even then, it gave me a support system, if you'd like, especially in the unique and unprecedented times like we've had during COVID. Saffron was there. It was that place where I could go and connect with people who are doing so much, putting out a lot of good work to make this world a better place. Saffron helped expand my perspective about the world and how the coming together of like minds could do a lot. Doesn't matter if it's starting with one step, but that we were even starting at all to have that kind of support at a time when we were unable to meet. I think for me, the pandemic and being able to have Saffron really did help me. And so, yeah, thank you, Saffron, on this 1 year anniversary. Thank you so much.
My name is Olajumoke Matilda Ochitoloju. I'm the project coordinator for Yanuwura Children Care Foundation. I want to say congratulations to Saffron Safeguarding for African Children on the 1 year anniversary of the Voice talk show. It's been wonderful. It's been interesting. It's been very insightful in all the topics you have chosen so far. The most interesting to me is the month of March, which is talking on disability. I must say, you really brought in guests that know a lot about disability, and they were able to carry us along in new ideas on disability.
Our society has negative stereotype about people living with disability. On the contrary, Saffron Social Development Global Foundation has enlightened us that people living with disabilities have potentials and are heroes. However, there are some barriers that prevented the realization of this potential, such as denial of access to equal opportunity, integration, and self-representation. It's expedient to mention here that these barriers could be eliminated in order to harness this potential, such as employment of people living with disability, increase disability representation in political setting, provide social inclusion in schools, realize that people living with disabilities are heroes, and provision of college scholarship to outlet the scholarship. Happy anniversary, Saffron. You've been bridging the borders and you've been enlightening us. Once again, happy anniversary. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Uche Mironye from London. I joined the Sanford Voice Over Talk show a few months back and it's been so entertaining and educative. Most especially for me was the financial February. It was really, really amazing that I got to learn more about my finances and my savings. I want to tell the team, the Stratford team, and the community for putting this show up. I want to say a very big thank you and thumbs up.
Hi, hello, my name is Edith. I just want to appreciate this organization for all the good work they are doing for the BAME, which is the Black African Minority Ethnic Group. They have actually done very, very much. They do a lot of things for people, giving them information on immigration, social care, and disabled people in Africa. The last meeting I attended was really good. That some disabled people were saying that they are not disabled, they are just able to do things differently. It was really touching for me to see these young guys say all this. They should keep on doing this good work, and I'm so proud of them. Well done.
Wow, 1 year. Congratulations, Saffron, on your anniversary. I look forward to more years of your interesting, educative, informing topics that you bring on this platform. Continue the good work and stay blessed, sisters. Thank you. Bye.
The voiceover talk show is one. Wow, what a year. We started in the middle of COVID in the hope not to only engage with the community, but to impact on those who are or who were experiencing challenges and difficulties and feeling left out or unattended. And wow, we've had professionals from all walks of profession on the show. And we've also had people who have just shared their own personal experiences. And I know that as we continue, there will be more awareness, not just in our different local communities, but and not just in the United Kingdom, but even worldwide as we continue to reach out to the Black African community, families, religious organizations. So I just want to quickly say thank you for sticking by us, and that please continue to join us every week. And the best is yet to come. We are here and we are going strong because of you. So thank you so very much. And yeah, a happy birthday to the Voiceover Talk Show.
How awesome was that? Good. So please, if you are watching, we would like you to send in your videos. We want to celebrate. We want to celebrate. With you. So we would like a 1 minute video, not more than 1 minute, please. Just to tell us, your experience and how you feel about Saffron Voiceover Talk Show. It would be amazing to hear from you. And we'll be taking videos up until, let's say, the 19th of June. Yeah, in that way, in order to be able to compile it, and then we will run it, obviously, on our birthday, which is going to be the 23rd of June. But yeah, so it's really been an amazing journey. It's been an awesome journey. Next week, Wednesday, we will be sharing our domestic abuse week, which is what we did. So it's not a new thing. We're going to be reviewing one of the talk shows that we did on domestic abuse. So please, remember to tune in next week, Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will be here live, and we will be sharing that particular video, and we'll be talking about the outcomes that came from that video. Because if you remember, I said we are mission accomplished. So we don't just have missions, but we accomplish the missions, and we take it really serious. We don't play around with your challenges. We don't play around with when you come to us and ask us for your support and for guidance. We take everything really serious. So if you know anybody that has, gone through or is going through any of these challenges, please, please, please point them in our direction. We are here. We are live. We are visible. And even when we're not on Zoom, we are still here for you. Our offices are based in Kent, yes, in Gillingham, but we go everywhere. We go as far as Scotland. Yeah, that's how woke we are. So please, 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 share the word. Like we said, when Marcia came on, it is a celebration month, because to be honest, we're pinching ourselves. If anybody had said to us that a year later we would be where we are and we would achieve what we have achieved, which we will be sharing as the show goes on, we would have said no. Lockdown came and it was a crazy period. It was a sad period for everybody. And it was for some of us as well. But out of lockdown was born this amazing family. And that's what we call it, because once you come to Saffron, you become family. You're not just guests, So, yeah. Please, if you do have anything, any other input, we want to hear from you. If there are, like I said earlier, if there are issues you feel that we haven't covered, pop us a line and say, what about this? And how can we go about this? And do you know anybody who, can do this? Our home office engagement show, it comes from one of our voiceovers, which we'll give you more insight next week. But just before, we continue with tonight's show, we want to say that on the 19th of June, which is the third Saturday in June, we will be having I can't remember what number we're on now. I think we're on are we on our fourth or fifth one?
I believe we're on our 4th month.
It's our 4th month, yes, of our collaboration with the UK Home Office engagement team. It's been amazing. It's been very, very, very amazing. We've had some good results coming out from that. And, guys, why have we had that? Because we came together as a community. We listened to some of your challenges, and we've signposted you. That's all we've done. Hashtag together we can. No man is an island. We can't do this on our own. You understand? So please, guys, put a date in your diary. 19th of June, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Please don't come late. You've got 3 hours with the UK Home Office engagement team. Immigration engagement team. Amazing group of people who are going to sit down and listen to you, take on board. It is a very confidential space, okay? Very confidential space. It's a dignified engagement, and I'm putting it out there because I know when we hear immigration, our antennas go up. No need for that, guys. We have created a very safe space for you to come on the Zoom, and you get to speak to them, and you can have a one-to-one. But the only way you're going to get that one-to-one is by filling out the inquiry form before the date. We will then take that form comes to Saffron, doesn't go anywhere else, and then we can arrange the one-to-one with the UK immigration officer. All right. So please, and the 19th of June, the Saturday 19th of June is going to be we'll be focusing on international students, EU settlement scheme, and Windrush. So these 3 areas: the international students, the Windrush scheme, and the EU settlement scheme. Now, a quick word: the EU settlement scheme is supposed to be finishing on the 30th of June. Till now, the government have not said they're extending it. If they do say that, we will probably get wind of it and we will put it out there. For now, it's still going to close on the 30th of June. So if you're here on the 19th, you will be able to get as much information that will help you in preparing and putting in your application, which will need to go in before the 30th of June. So please, guys, tell one, tell all. If there's anybody you know that is affected by the EU settlement scheme, if anybody is affected by the Windrush scheme, if you know anybody that is coming over into this country to study and are international students, lots of changes and some very positive ones, some changes for the international students. So please make it a date, the 19th of June, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And we will be sharing graphics and some more information after this program. All right. So back to today, guys. Yeah, we've been reviewing one of our first ever Zooms, which makes us cringe because we got to look at ourselves like a year ago. Not a pretty sight, but hey, we're not doing fashion here. We're on a mission, you know. And it's like and we want to know from yourself. We want your feedback. We do send out feedback forms. Please tell us how we're doing. Tell us how we're not doing. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you don't want to hear. You know, it's your show. So, you know, we want to hear from you. We want to know constructive criticism grows you. So if you have things that you need us to do, let us know. And we will do it, you know, so far as it's, you know, possible. Don't tell us to do things that are totally impossible, because then we will struggle. But you know, anything that is happening within the community that you feel we have not covered, please, 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 you can drop an email. You can come to Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn, and we're on YouTube as well. So you can go back, watch some of the shows, and under you've got the comment section. Feel free to drop us a comment. Subscribe, because when you subscribe, then anytime we are online, you will get the notification, and then you don't ever miss a show. Because I get many people who say, oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. You don't have to miss it because it's there. Once I come offline, once Yemi comes offline, once Marcia comes offline, we're out there. We're viral. we don't go away from the social media space. So yeah, please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us on Facebook, become part of our safeguarding family. And those of us in Nigeria, we've got this SNC Facebook page, a Safeguarding the Nigerian Child Facebook page. So feel free to join there. And it doesn't matter that you're out there, we can still pick up your inquiries and send to our Nigerian team who are out there doing amazing jobs for us in Lagos, our office in Lagos, and in Abuja, okay? So I'm going to hand over to you, Yemi, so you can, give us some more tidbits. I know there's some other things coming out. My brain is a bit fried now. So if you could just help us. Thank you. It's hot tonight.
I can see you. You're actually on a roll this evening. I am very, very impressed. Okay. I don't think you've missed anything else. We've talked about the immigration engagement team on the 19th. We've also talked about what we're going to be, you know, viewing or reviewing next week, which was the week which we had the domestic abuse discussion on, and the outcomes. In fact, the outcomes and outcomes and outcomes, we've had nearly 3 successes now. So it is important that we get the message out about positive outcomes that have come out of just that one Zoom meeting discussion on domestic abuse, and so many things that have come out of that. That's going to be interesting. We also have been, I believe you talked about our center is going to be reopening. I think when do we get released? When does When
From
do
the
we get back to actuals?
21st, hopefully, it's still a bit shaky, but we should be the country should be opening fully on the 21st. And once that happens, the following week, Saffron will be opening our center as well. Okay. So watch this space, because it's still, unless Mr. BJ says go, we don't go. So that's what it is. So we are following government guidelines, and it will be based on what the government says. But it's just to let you know that our parenting classes are starting at the end of June, and they will be, if we are not out by then, we will be having, the first couple will be virtual. So if you know any parents that require, some support, some guidance, please point them in our direction, and we will sign them up, and we will work with them. We will work with them, because like you heard Chris say in his video, when we played the video, communication. When the young people are not communicating, what are they doing? They're bottling it up. Yeah. And then when they're internalizing, one day they will blow. And what we have now is a country of young people who are imploding all over the place. Yeah. And so, we need to help the parents, to help the young people. So that's for the center.
The center. Yeah. Okay. And also for the parenting classes, we've had actually some inquiries from young parents. There are young parents out there who need your support as more experienced parents. It's a platform for us to share our ideas, share our experiences. How were you able to deal with it? Quite a few of us have 20-year-olds, and I can tell you that we have experiences that we can put on the table. Not that we dealt with, some of us actually didn't deal with it in the best way, but we learned from it, and we're hoping that you also learn from it. So please reach out, share the links with young parents, so that these young people can also get a head start. Because I know, and I know Giza said it so many times as well, if we had that support when we were younger parents, we probably would have done some things differently. But grace of God, we are all, still trotting along with it, and we give God the glory for all the young people out there. Welcome on board, Jacqueline. It's kind of losing my voice this evening.
Good evening.
Hi,
I just had to be here, rushed here. Like, no, I wasn't going to miss today. I had missed too many.
Bless you. We've already had your video played, your lovely video. Thank you. Thank you for sending it in.
Always a pleasure.
Oh. How's it out there in KD?
Well, depends on what you're asking about. The economy, security, what exactly? Because security, it's not funny at all.
We're just looking at the well-being of people out there, security, health, and because you lot are out there, and we read and we're seeing things every day, and it's very alarming sometimes. So
it is
our love.
It is. It's been it's taken a toll actually on even mental health of the people, myself included, because you go to sleep and you're not even sure what's going to happen in the night. So it's not been funny, but like they say, us Nigerians, everything is spiritual, because frankly, that we're still together, that we've not had, unrest break out across the nation, that a number of us are still dwelling in safety. I mean, you just got to give it to the divine, that God is in control somehow. Always. Because the truth is, there are nations that did not go through half of what Nigeria has been through so far. And they went to war. And somehow Nigeria is still wobbling along. So I don't know how we can discountenance the X factor, which is God, in all of this. But it's not been funny, I tell you. Yes, it's good to see you.
You too, you too. I'm so happy you've come on. All we can say is honestly, just stay safe, you know, as much as you can. This too shall pass. It shall pass.
Amen. Amen.
Pass. We're praying day by each day, you know, like you said, the X factor, and he's definitely watching over. So, you know, stay safe, stay safe. And thank you for coming on, and please try and be with us, because this is the 1 year and you are very much part of this, because you've been here from the beginning. So we're just doing this up until the 23rd, when we will have the massive party. And I'm just hoping we're going to fill out Zoom, you know, because we've had so many of you on. It's been amazing. What we did today was basically we played one of our first ever talk shows, where we had the young man that was, I don't know if you remember, that came out of prison after a 14-year stay.
Oh, yes. I remember him.
Chris.
His name
starts
with a K.
Chris Kiffin.
Chris Kiffin.
Yes. Yes.
Chris will be here on the 23rd. But we talked about his story, and then we had Oyewole on, who gave us an amazing insight, you know, into the systemic racism and everything's on this in the UK. And just how we as a people need to come together, how we as a people need to be more community oriented, because I think if that happens, you know, a lot of the things we're seeing with the young people, both home and abroad, you know, we won't be seeing that, you know. Safeguarding, we've got to see it, that safeguarding is not just my problem, but it's everybody's problem. So and that's what, so each week we're going to, next week, Wednesday, we're going to be talking about domestic abuse. And we will replay some of our videos. So please, if you can come on, that would be amazing. If you can bring some of your colleagues on, that would be even more amazing. Just to, even if it's anything, come on and let's be happy. Let's try and distract some of you from what's going on around you.
That would be great. Let's just have the link ready, maybe a day before, so that we can do some massive sharing.
Awesome. We will do that. We will get that for you, definitely, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
Brilliant. Lekon, we see you. Good evening. Thank you for Lekon, all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much. Lekon is our one of our directors. I'm going to hand over to Yemi quickly because I need to do something. Go ahead, Yemi.
I'm not going to hold you. I'm just asking people that starting the next year, which we are already in, but starting from the 23rd, we want you to send in the topics that you'd want us to address. You know, what issues are on your heart? What issues are in your communities? What issues do you see daily that you would want us to discuss? Really, on the voiceover for Saffron, no issue is too hush hush, nothing swept under the carpet. We will hit it head on, and we, like you said earlier on, we have professionals who will come on here and discuss these with you. So bring on your topics, and let's trash them out. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yemi, do you want to say something? You've unmuted. Apple? Yes, no, that was a mistake. Okay, brilliant. So yes, on that juncture, we are going to say thank you all so much for starting the major leg to our celebration. We will be back on Wednesday, same time, where we'll be continuing our 1 year review for the voiceover talk show. Please share our links. If there are people that you feel need to be part of our family, please share the link to them. Yeah, don't hug it to yourselves. Sharing is caring. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Yemisi Jenkins, MB. Thank you. I know you've been listening in, so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Nene, all the way from Lagos. Thank you, Lekon.
Hi.
Hi.
Ngozi.
Oh, hello, darling. How are you? Good evening.
I'm fine. Sorry. I don't pressing.
Okay.
I just want to say congrats to you and your colleagues, your team. You guys are doing a very, very wonderful job, honestly.
Thank you so much.
I want to make a commitment that by the next meeting, I should have 1 or 2 articles to share or something, but like you said, just coming in from work, I remember, I told you, I promised you that I would always make it a point of duty to join your meetings because prior to this time, I'll say to myself, I'm going to join the meeting. And before I get into the house, from the door, everybody's lining up with one issue or the other, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll be a little more involved by way of, contributions, some intellectual contributions and all of that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Congrats, guys. Keep it up. Well done. God's going to help you guys.
Amen.
Soar higher and higher and help people. It's not just you developing your career. It's not just you soaring higher and higher, but reaching out to people. The aim, the essence of the whole project, the whole program would be achieved by the grace of God.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. I'm really appreciative. We all are. Thank you so much. And like you said, we will get the link out early so that yes, you can share. Because that is our aim. Our mission is to impact on our community. And if people are not being reached, then we can't impact. So yes, thank you so much. And thank you to all our Facebook family. I saw quite a few of you that were on. Hope that you will join us again next week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if we do catch any of your questions and you've gone, we will just pick them up for next week, but we will make sure that we answer them. So without much ado, everybody have a lovely evening. Please, the Nigerian family, please, 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 Godspeed, stay safe. And have a lovely evening. Good night, everybody. God bless. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Night, Jacqueline. See you soon.
Good night.